$9.99 at... Come in today and save at Circuit City's Labor Day sale.
Martha Stewart, starting September 12th on K2, The Spirit of the Northwest.
This morning, responding to the crisis, President Bush on Hurricane Katrina, an exclusive interview with Diane Sawyer at the White House on the costliest natural disaster in American history. Getting out alive, the death toll could be in the thousands. Now, can the survivors be saved? Live coverage of the searches, the rescues, and the frantic evacuation. And America reaches out, an extraordinary response. We are hearing from you, asking how you can help. All morning, we'll tell you what you can do to make a difference.
From ABC News, this is a special edition of Good Morning America, Hurricane Katrina National Crisis, with Charles Gibson and Robin Roberts in Times Square in New York, and Diane Sawyer inside the White House.
And Good Morning America, good to see you.
It is. It is Thursday, September 1st, 2005.
And you can see Diane down there in the Roosevelt Room of the White House in just a few seconds. She's going to have a chance to talk with the president about the response to this crisis.
Just back from the storm zone myself, it was very difficult for me to leave, but my family felt I could do more good from the outside, so to speak. Yeah, I saw the devastation firsthand for the past 2 days, but we are getting new pictures and stories, and the time, they're just absolutely astonishing. We'll share that.
Before we get down to the White House, just want to bring you up on the very latest on Hurricane Katrina. Right now in New Orleans, an historic round-the-clock rescue operation is underway. Helicopters, warships, Navy SEAL teams. The next hours can be critical. The scope of the disaster is staggering. No official death toll, but thousands may have died in New Orleans alone. New Orleans has plunged into violence and some chaos. Looters are stealing so much food, clothing, jewelry, guns. There are now 21,000 National Guard troops trying to bring the city under control. And New Orleans is being totally abandoned, perhaps for months. Caravans of buses are beginning to take 25,000 people on a 9-hour, 350-mile trip from the Superdome to the Astrodome in Houston. The evacuation stalled this morning when shots were fired at military helicopters. It is a grim and dramatic exodus. ABC's Chris Bury was at the gathering scene last night.
This is the staging area for the biggest evacuation in American history. People here are in all kinds of conditions. Some have walked for miles. Some are infirm, in crutches, in wheelchairs. It's really a remarkable sea of humanity, resembling nothing so much as a refugee camp. Charlie?
And as we mentioned, we've heard from so many of you, people of all ages and backgrounds, asking how can you help? So many responding to Robin's reporting of the crisis over the last few days. So we'll be telling you this morning, all morning long, what's the best way to respond, what's the best time to respond. But we do begin with Diane and the president at the White House. Diane?
Thank you, Charlie. And Mr. President, thank you so much for being with us on this morning of national concern. We are here in the Roosevelt Room, I should tell everyone once again. I know you get private briefings on the human tolls so far. What can you tell us about anticipated death and those who are missing?
They're not sure about the extent of the number of people missing. And the reason why is because this natural disaster is one of the most extensive our nation has ever faced. It is, we've shut down arteries, and cell phones are down, communications is down, electricity is down in the city of New Orleans in particular. We do know that the storm has just blasted the Gulf Coast. Rural Mississippi and coast of Mississippi has been obliterated, much of it has been obliterated, and obviously the downtown New Orleans is flooded. And so we're trying to get a handle on it. Our first priority, of course, is to search and rescue. I talked to a fella this morning. I do get briefed, and I talked to, interestingly enough, a young Coast Guard guy named Josh Mitchell-Tree. I just called him. He knew I was going to call, of course. So what's it like? He said, we're just constantly working to rescue. Thousands have been rescued. There's thousands more to be rescued, and there's a lot of people focused in their efforts on that.
And a private death toll at this point?
Don't know the exact number, but it's obviously it's going to be a lot.
Everyone who watches the pictures go by, and I should say here in the Situation Room we have on the screen, a screen where you have teleconferencing and the pictures can go by as well. Is there one image that symbolizes to you the dimension of what happened?
Well, I think the image that sticks in my mind the most is somebody sitting on a rooftop waving a flag saying, come and get me. And that, again, I repeat, we've got a strategy, and that we, as not just the federal government, but state and local governments, have got a strategy to first save lives. As you know, there's a major kind of transportation lift taking place, moving people from the Superdome to the Astrodome. There's a lot of choppers beginning to move, and more choppers are on the way. We've got to get a handle on this from the human dimension, first and foremost.
And in fact, Mr. President, this morning, as we speak, as you say, there are people with signs saying, help, come get me, people still in the attic waving. Nurses are phoning in saying the situation in hospitals is getting ever more dire, that the nurses are getting sick now because of no clean water. And some of the things they have asked our correspondents to ask you is they expected, they say to us, that the day after this hurricane, that there would be a massive and visible armada of federal support. There would be boats coming in, there would be food, there would be water, and it would be there within hours. They wondered, what's taking so long?
Well, there's a lot of food on its way, a lot of water on the way, and there's a lot of boats and choppers headed that way, or boats and choppers headed that way. It just takes a while to float them. I mean, for example, the Iwo Jima is coming from the east coast of the United States toward New Orleans, and people have got to know that there is a massive relief, one of the most massive federal relief effort ever in combination with state and local authorities, and there's a lot of help coming.
But given the fact that everyone anticipated a Hurricane 5, a possible Hurricane 5 hitting shore, are you satisfied with the pace at which this is arriving and at which it was planned to arrive?
Well, I fully understand people wanting things to have happened yesterday. I mean, I understand the anxiety of people on the ground. I just can't imagine what it's like to be waving a sign that said, "Come and get me now." So there is frustration. But I want people to know there's a lot of help coming. I don't think anybody anticipated the breach of the levees. They did anticipate a serious storm. But these levees got breached, and as a result, much of New Orleans is flooded, and now we're having to deal with it, and will.
A couple of quick questions about the concerns. Any signs of disease outbreaks yet reported to you?
Not yet, but I talked to Secretary Leavitt, who's been working with the CDC to rally doctors and nurses to go down in the area to help, just to make sure disease doesn't outbreak. But I think people, that's going to be one of the real problems we're going to have to deal with is disease.
National security, another problem. And security in the region, we've seen the looting before. National Guard troops, as we have said, are now up to 22,000, I think, by tomorrow coming in. But people have worried that the National Guard is stretched too thin. So many overseas.
Yeah.
And the governors themselves, bipartisan number of governors, have worried out loud that with so many National Guard deployed, so many places, they don't have the full quadrant it may take.
Yeah, we've got the resources necessary to do two separate things. And as you mentioned, there's 22,000 guard. I think it's 22,000 headed there. And if they need more guard, there'll be more guard. Plus, we've got regular military on the ground as well, preparing for to find out what we need to be able to continue to search and rescue and then deliver food, medicine, and water to the people.
I wanted to ask a question, if I can. It's kind of a philosophical question about the looters themselves, because there's been so much debate. Many of them going in have said, we're only going in because we're desperate. We need shoes to walk around in because our feet are being cut. We need food for our children. What is your view of what prosecution should and shouldn't be, of what arrests should and shouldn't be in a situation like this? What is justified, what's not?
I think there ought to be zero tolerance of people breaking the law during an emergency such as this, whether it be looting or price gouging at the gasoline pump or taking advantage of charitable giving or insurance fraud. And I've made that clear to our Attorney General. Citizens ought to be working together. I mean, if people need water and food, we're going to do everything we can to get them water and food. It's very important for the citizens in all affected areas to take personal responsibility and assume kind of a civic sense of responsibility so that the situation doesn't get out of hand, so people don't exploit the vulnerable.
A lot of people around the country are asking what else they could do. You had mentioned giving cash to charities and to the Red Cross, but gas prices going up at the pumps. We've seen in Atlanta the lines backing up, and some of the prices are going up to $4, $5. First of all, what do you want to say about what is the government putting in place to guard against price gouging? And then also, is this a time to call on Americans simply to pull back, not use the gas, pull back and stay at home and save the gas for those who are in dire need?
Well, first of all, you're right. We ought to conserve more. And I would hope Americans conserve when they, if given a choice. Secondly, we've done some things to help on the gas price. First of all, people got to understand 8 refineries are down. Those are it's the factory that manufactures the gasoline. Also, crude pipelines are down, and crude platforms are down. So we've done the following things. One, we've released oil from the SPRO, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, to help on the crude supply. Secondly, we got rid of some of the EPA regulations on blended fuel, which will mean there will be more fuel available not only domestically, but also imported fuel. In other words, some fuels can't be used at this time of the season because of EPA regulations, so we suspended it. And hopefully that'll have some relief on price.
We know you talked to the Saudis. Have the Saudis agreed to
Well, they'll
increase
do
production?
everything I think they'll do everything they can. Now, they've got limited capacity to drop the price of crude. The best thing we can do is get our production back up in the Gulf. It's going to take a while. Get those refineries operating and get our pipelines operating. In the meantime, the federal government will do 2 things. One, we'll try to relieve the pressure on supply by, as I mentioned, releasing crude from the SPRO as well as the EPA regulations, and hold people to account if they're gouging.
Some people have said that the oil companies themselves should simply forfeit some of their profits in this time of national crisis. A conservative commentator, popular one, called last night for 20% reduction in the profits.
Well, what I'd like to see is corporate America make sure that they contribute to helping these victims, that there be an outpouring of contributions for the relief efforts. And it's not only short-term contributions for food and medicine. And I'll urge people to give cash. Not to send food, not to send blankets, but to send cash to the Red Cross or the Salvation Army or the charitable, a charity of their choice, so long as they designate their funds for hurricane relief. But there's going to be a long-term need, too, to help these people get back on their feet.
Well, I was going to ask about that. We saw Chris Bury's report about the movement from the Superdome to the Astrodome.
Right.
And the prospect, some people are saying, is of 1 million American refugees in place for a very long time. It's really a 2-part question, which is, what are you saying to them about how far the federal government's going to go to get their lives back? Do you promise jobs? Do you promise that they will be moved back into housing, and how soon?
Well, first of all, we got to get a handle on the situation. In other words, we got to stop the flooding in New Orleans. We got to, rescue the folks, and get them out of harm's way, get food and medicine to people, and then take a serious assessment about what it's going to need to rebuild New Orleans and parts of Mississippi.
And can America afford this cost? Because a number of people, again, are saying right now we are straining at the seams a bit. We are paying the war in Iraq and the cost of that in the tens and tens of millions of dollars a day. And do we have to make a choice at some point between what we're doing in Iraq and what is needed right now to funnel massive amounts of money?
We can win the war on terror, and we must win the war on terror. Security of this nation is at stake, and we'll help the people in New Orleans and Mississippi and Alabama as well.
What about the other nations of the world? Are they offering the kind of help that you expected them to help, you want them to help? And there is a report that you're going to deploy your father again and President Clinton again to go out there and seek it. What is it you are expecting from them, and will you get it?
I'm not expecting much from foreign nations because we hadn't asked for it. I do suspect a lot of sympathy, and perhaps some will send cash dollars. But this country is going to rise up and take care of it. We'd love help, but we're going to take care of our own business as well. And there's no doubt in my mind we'll succeed. And there's no doubt in my mind, as I sit here talking to you, that New Orleans is going to rise up again as a great city. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. But this is a compassionate nation. It's got a lot of resources at its disposal, and we're going to help those people.
There was worry about the levees breaking, as we know, years before, and replacing New Orleans in a situation where you have to have massive expenditures in order to protect it. Do you want to see it in the same place?
I think we'll let the experts determine how New Orleans is rebuilt. But I just want the people of New Orleans to know that after we've rescued them and stabilized the situation, there will be plans in place to help this great city get back on its feet.
When are you going to go?
As soon as I can. Obviously, if a president were to land, it would take a lot of resources away from the immediate task. But we've got people on the ground now working with local authorities to determine what would be the best time for me to go. I'd like to go as quickly as possible.
Some people Democratic critics have begun to say that they were surprised that you didn't come back to the White House on Tuesday and start to organize this cabinet meeting that you did yesterday.
You mean the one I organized on Wednesday? Well, I started organizing Tuesday when we realized the extent of the storm, and I said, look, when I get back to Washington on Wednesday afternoon, I want to have a report on my desk and a cabinet meeting for you to tell me exactly what your departments are going to do to help alleviate the situation. By the way, I hope people don't, play politics during this period of time. This is a natural disaster, the likes of which our country may have never seen before. And it's a national emergency. And what we need to do as a nation is come together to solve the problem and not play politics. And there'll be ample time for politics. But now's the time to focus our attention, our compassion, and our resources on helping people who need help.
I'm struck by the fact that the picture that we saw of you sitting and looking outside the plane at this disaster and the picture of 9/11 were so similar when you looked down. Very different emotions for you?
Well, first of all, the devastation that I saw was very emotional. I mean, I cannot describe to you what it looks like to see entire neighborhoods underwater, or right down the coast in Mississippi to see little communities completely obliterated. I mean, it is so devastating that it's hard to describe it. 9/11 was a man-made attack. This was a natural disaster. And so I had a little different sense of emotion about realizing that there are some killers out there that killed Americans as opposed to a storm. But nevertheless, the aftermath is going to be just as serious in both cases. New Orleans is more devastated than New York was, and just physically devastated, as is the coast of Mississippi. So we got a lot of work to do, and we'll get it done. It's very important that there be a logical plan in place, a strategy in place, that the federal government, the state government, and the local government work together to implement, and that's what you're seeing unfolding now.
The stampede in Iraq, the casualties there, the natural disaster that has taken place, do you feel the anxiety in the country now?
Well, I can understand why people are, wondering what life is going to be like. But I also understand they're looking to the White House and other authorities to solve these problems. But that's what a president does. The president recognizes problems and solves them, and that's exactly what this administration is going to do.
Mr. President, again, thank you for being with us this morning live, and I know that everyone hopes that there are better days soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Back to you, Charlie and Robin.
All right, thanks, Diane. The president's saying we're going to get it done. It's going to take some time, but this is the largest mobilization of help that's ever been required. And it may not come as fast as some folks want, but it comes as fast as people can put it together.
Because Diane was right. The people are asking there, where is the help? We need it now. They keep hearing it's coming, but they need it now.
All right. Anyway, weather. Tony Perkins.
He's back from the storm zone
I'm back from the storm zone as well, and I have one bit of good news to impart to everybody. What was once a Category 5 hurricane, packing winds of 175 miles per hour, Katrina has departed the United States and poses no further threat to this land. Goodbye and good riddance. Katrina dropped 1 to 5 inches of rain in portions of the Northeast yesterday, causing some minor street, river, and urban flooding. It is gone. Today, along the Gulf Coast, we continue to deal with the aftermath. We will see hot temperatures. Temperatures will be in the 90s. Unfortunately, it will feel like it's 100 to 105 degrees under partly cloudy skies. There will be some storms. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julia Radlick. We're starting off with a little bit of patchy clouds here in the valley and along the coast. The biggest thing, though, is this cloud mass out here in the Pacific. Yes, it will bring us rain for the weekend. In the meantime, it's increasing the onshore flow and cooling us off for tomorrow. But today should be beautiful. We're looking at 82 degrees this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. Tonight, the clouds will move in overnight. We will see cloudy skies tomorrow morning and only 76 degrees tomorrow afternoon. A similar number on Saturday, and then the rain begins Saturday night and into Sunday.
All right. right, thank you very much. It is 19 minutes after the hour now, Charlie and Robin.
Katrina, not sorry to see you go, and please don't write, don't call.
Absolutely.
You're out of here.
Bye-bye. See you.
All right. So you're back.
Yeah, before I
I'd
left.
say welcome home, but you were
I
home.
was home.
Yeah.
Mississippi was home, but before we left, after the broadcast yesterday, we went to my mom's house, and Tommy Kane, my photographer, and Larry, my sound guy, were up on my mom's roof, you know, putting the tarps up. People need tarps, they need water, they need food, they need money, they need our help, but it's
I know Mom
amazing.
came through okay. Did you try to bring her back up here?
Yes, I said, come back with me, and she goes, this is my home, I'm not leaving, I'm not running, and she...
Robin comes from stubborn folk.
I do.
Great folk
What do you mean
as well.
about that?
Anyway, stay with us. In a moment, we'll have the very latest on the race against time to evacuate New Orleans, and we'll also be telling you about the problems at the hospitals and also what you can do to help. So many people asking, what can we do?
Hey, a new drink. Ingredients: high fructose corn syrup, inositol, pyridoxine hydrochloride, maltodextrin, glucurono something or other. Of course, my favorite, caffeine. Or Florida orange juice. Ingredients: fresh air, rain, sunshine.
A glass of Florida orange juice every morning is a natural way to get many of the nutrients you need. Florida orange juice. Healthy, pure, and simple.
This Labor Day weekend, I get 3 days to roll out a masterpiece.
You can at the Home Depot, where you'll find the largest paint color palette in America, plus great values on everything you need to paint your home, from primer to paint sprayers. Right now, get $5 off 1-gallon cans of Glidden Evermore paint, interior or exterior. Save even more with $20 off all 5-gallon buckets. And come to a free paint clinic to learn about techniques, color coordination, and more.
At the Home Depot, you can do it, we can help.
Denny's new sausage sampler has the sizzling sausage you love. And it already comes with seconds. Now get twice the sausage. 2 savory patties and 2 links, plus eggs and pancakes. One of 3 big and bountiful breakfasts for just $4.99. Denny's, we're cooking now.
Psst, Paolo, acqua da benedire, corri, corri.
Paolo, sono in missione.
Which tastes better?
Oh, the Pringles taste better.
Maybe it's a can you like.
No, it's a Pringles.
Pringles. They just taste better.
Worried about germs? Help protect your family with Dial Complete. Its unique foaming formula is 10 times more effective at killing germs than ordinary liquid hand soap. Aren't you glad you used Dial?
Good morning. This is K2 News, the spirit of the Northwest.
Good morning, everyone. It's 7:22, and I'm Julia Radlick. Here's what's making local news this morning. Oregon State Health Department is reporting the first 4 confirmed cases of West Nile virus in humans this year. 2 people living in Lane and Malheur counties were infected by mosquito bites in Oregon. 2 others from Benton and Marion counties were bitten in California. The state had just 5 cases of people with West Nile all of last year, and like this year's victims, all recovered. But the mosquito-borne disease can cause encephalitis and even death in severe cases. There are plenty of prisoners, but not enough money to put them behind bars. It's been a problem here in Portland, and now it's a statewide issue. They're starting to push dirt in the high desert near Madras for a new $200 million state prison. And when finished, it will be the 2nd largest in Oregon. However, state lawmakers have yet to approve the money necessary to run the prison, which concerns some in the town of 5,000.
I cannot imagine the legislators or the people of Oregon tolerating a new $200 million investment and having it sit idle out in the high desert of Central Oregon.
Oregon Governor Ted Kulongoski says he's certain the funding will come through before the prison is finished in late 2006. Time now to check on your morning commute. Here's Brian McCoy. Hi, Brian.
Good morning. So far, I-5 southbound hitting the brakes just prior to SR-14. Slow to the bridge. Then again, Marine Drive to Delta Park. I-5 northbound slowing down now for the Capitol Highway right up through the curve. So definitely expect a little bit of a delay there. So far on the Banfield, most of the slowing is 205 to Halsey. Then again, solid 28 down towards I-5. For Town & Country Auto Dealerships and the K2 Traffic Team, Brian McCoy, K2 News.
Thanks, Brian. That's the news for now. We'll be right back with a look at weather.
This Labor Day, for 4 days only, Northwest Rugs will place their entire collection of 20,000 rugs plus all furniture and accessories on sale. 20,000 rugs from over 15 different countries and the most famous looms in the world. Price reduced for 4 days only. Thousands of colors, styles, and patterns from tapestries and masterful reproductions for the hottest colors and styles of the day. Hurry in for Labor Day savings on our entire inventory of rugs, furniture, and accessories. Northwest Rugs, Carmen Drive, Wilsonville, Tannisbourne, and Jensen Beach.
This is K2, the spirit of the Northwest. If you're in one of these locations, you may be able to receive a clearer signal by tuning to one of these UHF channels.
Hey, let's get some fruit. You wouldn't buy fruit with corn syrup or artificial preservatives. Why buy fruit drinks with them? Unlike fruit drinks, Juicy Juice is 100% juice with vitamin C. In fact, one serving of Juicy Juice counts as a serving of fruit because we like to give them 100%, just like you do. Juicy Juice, the very best juice for the very best kids.
The drawing rooms of London had not prepared us for this new world. We were overcome by the very fruits and birds and trees.
Introduce yourself to the new classics from today's Ethan Allen.
The air was thick with perfume.
An unexpected marriage of simple elegance and timeless soul.
The seduction was complete.
Discover a modern take on classics. It's Ethan Allen, redefined. In stores now.
Should be a beautiful day here in Oregon today, all along the coast and in the valley, as well as on the central and east side. Let's take a look outside from the Embassy Suites Hotel near the airport. We're looking at Mount St. Helens this morning. A little hazy there, but sure is a pretty morning. We do have some patchy clouds around the area, especially here in Portland and along the coast. Current numbers are in the 50s. We've got 58 in Portland. It's 55 in Aurora, 52 in Salem, and 59 degrees in Scappoose. We do have partly cloudy conditions here in Portland as those patchy clouds are across the area. Otherwise, it is clear skies around the Willamette Valley. Along the coast, we do have some low clouds and fog kind of moving inland thanks to a storm system that's just offshore. And yes, that will make its way to our area late Saturday night and into Sunday morning. We are expecting rain from it. It will increase clouds tomorrow. But for today, should be a beautiful day. We're looking at 82 degrees this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. The last day of 80-degree readings before we drop into the 70s for the weekend. Tonight, cloudy by morning. Tomorrow we'll start off with overcast skies, then end up with some sunshine in the afternoon. The rain develops late Saturday and into Sunday. And Labor Day at this point looking pretty nice at 77 degrees.
A portion of this program is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Life comes at you fast. When it does, be ready with Nationwide. Investments, retirement, insurance. Nationwide is on your side.
You're born. You go to school. You work hard. You raise a family. You pay your taxes. And when you die, the IRS can tax you again, taking as much as 55% of everything you've saved for your children. It's called the death tax, and it's wrong. With his vote, Senator Ron Wyden could eliminate the death tax. Isn't a lifetime of taxes enough?
Durable Alloc laminate flooring, on sale only at RMD's. Get 3 years, no interest financing. Better service, better selection, better visit RMD's.
No one beats RMD's.
Did you hear about my accident? My car was a mess.
I'm driving on the highway. This car's coming up behind me. Just came in all hot. T-boned me.
I wasn't looking.
Airbag goes off.
The whole back of my van is caved in. Fluids on the ground.
Steam just popping all out of the engine.
But it's a good thing our insurance company is Amica.
Amica.
Amica's great.
At Amica, we built our business on customer referrals.
I mean, when I first got the policy, they totally helped me pick out the right coverage.
Saved a bunch of money in the end. Does your insurance company do that?
You should call Amica.
Call Amica today and you'll see how.
And when it came time to pay the claim,
like that, without a hassle.
they paid it.
And it was like they were happy to give me the money.
Does your insurance company do that?
We also have one of the highest retention rates in the industry.
I've had Amica for years.
5 years.
25 years. Never a hassle. You don't have Amica?
Find out what everyone's talking about. Switch to the insurance company that understands it's not just how you're covered.
I just pick up the phone and call.
It's how you're treated.
You gotta get Amica.
Get Amica, bro.
Call Amica.
Call Amica today for a free, no-obligation quote.
It's Sleep Country's fantastic Beauty Rest closeout sale. Save on any size Beauty Rest. So if you don't mind sleeping on a discontinued fabric, this is your sale. Through Labor Day.
Why buy a mattress anywhere else?
This is not the time for social advances made for the sake of social advances.
Meaning a woman in the Oval Office.
Meaning a woman as the leader of the free world.
The President of the United States.
Commander-in-Chief premieres Tuesday, September 27th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
All local news, weeknights at 6:30 on K2.
The scene in New Orleans, the water's still high. They've equaled out with Lake Pontchartrain now, and eventually they'll be drained out of the city, but it's going to take a lot of time, and people are in a lot of distress right now. And the search and rescue operations still going on around the clock. Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
And I'm Robin Roberts. Diane Sawyer is live at the White House this morning, where she just spoke exclusively one-on-one with President Bush. And Diane, everyone wanted to hear what he had to say about the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
Thanks, Robin. Well, first of all, I want to welcome you back, and wish I were there to reach out to you, too. The President and I continued to talk, by the way, after the interview. He said several interesting things. Among them, I asked probably what's a simple-minded question, which is, what about just airdrops of food and water right now to some of these people who are in the roofs? And he said that his understanding is that's not the most efficient way to deliver it, and that there should be a dramatic change in the amount coming in very soon. I also asked him about this idea that the whole economy could be torqued by this in such a way, and I said, will you call for tax increases, in fact, if that's required? And he said there won't have to be tax increases, that he believes that it's very important not to throw a curve to the economy at this particular moment. And I also asked about the question of security in the area and the looting, and he said they're watching it every minute, and that of course he would be standing by should additional troops be required, including military troops, but that no requests have come in, and they simply are going to stand by and watch. And I'll bring you more of it all throughout the morning. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dan. I want to run down for people the latest developments right now. The all-out evacuation of New Orleans is in full swing. The city is going to be emptied out and may not be habitable for a number of months. Busloads of people have already begun arriving 350 miles away at the Houston Astrodome. The mayor estimates as many as 15,000 people can be taken out by convoy each day, but he also says the death toll, when we finally get it, is going to be very high, hundreds, perhaps even thousands. The city is now 80% flooded, 20 feet deep in places. The water, as I mentioned, no longer rising, but the danger far from over.
And Charlie, also hospitals in Katrina's path facing a life and death crisis as they try to evacuate patients, including babies. Can you imagine having a little baby right now? We're going to have all the latest on that situation with the hospitals.
And so many people have emailed us asking how they can help, especially after Robin's journey home. So this morning we're going to show you as many ways as we can that America is reaching out, how to reach out, when to reach out. We're going to tell you how you can help. Melody Hobson is here with that information.
But we begin with New Orleans, and that is something that is on everyone's mind right now. 80%, as we said, of the city is flooded. So we're going to get to New Orleans in just a little bit. And I believe Bob Woodruff, he is now there. As you can imagine, still communication there is a little iffy, but Bob Woodruff has made his way back to the Crescent City. And tell us, what's the latest there, Bob?
Yeah, sorry, Robin, sorry about that. There's a massive operation underway here, but this is still a very overwhelming situation, as you very well know. There's still not enough people on the ground to help everybody, not enough rescue workers, not enough police, certainly not enough people going door to door to try to find the people that are in their homes. So consequently, people that are making it out are being moved out of the city in a massive way. They're being taken out to any place where they can go, because still here they have no power, no water, and no food.
Horror stories from what was supposed to be a refuge, the Superdome. As thousands evacuated the arena, boarding buses to Houston's Astrodome, complaints of disorganization and confusion while scrambling for rides to Texas. And when the buses pulled into Houston last night after 9 hours on the road, refugees told their stories.
I had to do CPR on a lady she was 65 years old.
She didn't make it, and tens of thousands still stranded wonder if they will. One elderly man painted his roof, diabetic, heart meds, need transport.
Here comes the rescue. These two being lifted into the Black Hawk helicopter.
Down below, water on fire from a broken gas line. Convicts freed from their flooded prison as guards anxiously maintain control.
These guys here that have obviously been pepper sprayed or maced by the officers for crowd control.
Not enough officers to stop looters.
Do you think it's okay to take that? You stole it.
But there are signs of relief. Sandbags for broken levees, airlifts of food, water, and people who are wondering how or if their wait will end.
This is a major security problem. Even right here, Robin and Charlie, we heard several pops of gunfire last night. There are reports of about a dozen carjackings overnight. There was even a carjacking of a bus driver for a nursing home. Someone took his bus. So this is a big problem. The New Orleans mayor has now shifted 1,500 New Orleans police officers from their search and rescue mission to the job of trying to crack down on these looters because these lootings are now coming closer and closer to more populated areas. And he says he wants to stop it right now. Robin and Charlie.
All right, thanks. Bob Woodruff reporting from New Orleans. Robin mentioned the public health emergency that exists, particularly in the hospitals. They are desperately struggling to keep people alive. In many cases, there are babies. The parents had to evacuate the city. The babies are still in the hospital. Some of the hospitals are without water, even power. So how long can they keep it up, and how are they going to get the critically ill out of the city? ABC's David Muir, also in New Orleans, is following that story. David?
You know, desperate is the word you use, Charlie, and there is not a more appropriate word this morning with the hundreds of patients still in hospitals throughout the New Orleans area. We talked with Acadia Ambulance this morning. They are the company that is airlifting many of these patients out of here, and they plan to get to 60 patients who are this morning on the rooftop of the Toro Infirmary. And they're just one group of patients that really need to get out of here. The humidity is palpable this morning. It's almost strangling. It's so humid outside here and so warm. So you can only imagine what it's like inside the hospital rooms where there's been no power and in many cases no food and no supplies since Katrina blew through.
This is little Hayden, only 3 weeks old and being kept alive by a heart-lung machine at the Ochsner Clinic. The hospital is already running on backup power, and if that power goes...
If we're on off of emergency power and the battery starts to wear down, then the next step would be to hand crank the pump.
A tent over Hayden's bed protects him and his equipment from leaks. Outside these walls, there are National Guardsmen with loaded M16s to keep away looters. And Ochsner is actually a good news story, the only New Orleans hospital open for business. At other hospitals, things are painfully dire. Those stranded at Charity Hospital say the stench of raw sewage is everywhere.
We have very little food, very little water. I mean, everybody's rationing things. What we're really concerned about is most of these ventilators are being run by batteries, and when we don't have batteries, unfortunately, they're going to die when we have no batteries.
At Methodist Hospital, Joseph West says lives have already been lost.
I spent a good part of the day helping to ventilate some of the patients by hand. I think they lost 3 today.
The neediest patients are being airlifted out as quickly as possible, pouring into neighboring facilities by Texas Children's Hospital in Houston.
And sometimes you feel like you're in control and sometimes you don't.
A command center organizes the massive number of airlifts.
Some of them are ambulatory and walking wounded. Others are critically ill.
This tiny girl needs heart surgery. This 7-year-old, a bone marrow transplant. They have already taken in more than 24 children. And overnight, we're expecting perhaps as many as 150 more. Cancer patient Nash Norwood was airlifted out of New Orleans when his hospital ran out of blood, but he was forced to make the journey alone.
They would not bring his mother with him, and that was very hard. It's hard for her. It's hard for us.
So difficult for these families being separated by this aftermath. At Kenner Regional Hospital, they tried to land with supplies last night for these patients, but couldn't because there were 100 looters waiting on the runway with guns.
All right, David Muir.
New York.
Thanks very much. The hospital story going to be a continuing one. We'll stay up on it. Let's get to the headlines now. Claire Shipman.
Good morning, Charlie and Robin. Good morning, everyone. Iraqis are struggling to come to grips this morning with an enormous tragedy there. Nearly 1,000 Shiite pilgrims killed in a stampede. A rumor of a suicide bomber sparked panic on a Baghdad bridge Wednesday. Most of the victims were women and children. The jailed leader of a radical Islamic group, an American, has been indicted on terrorism charges along with 3 followers. Kevin James allegedly recruited the others to attack synagogues and military facilities in the Los Angeles area. They're accused of plotting to strike as early as October for Yom Kippur. And finally, for the first time in more than 5 months, Martha Stewart can leave home today without her ankle bracelet. But she will be on probation for the next 18 months, which means she's not allowed to leave the jurisdiction without permission, own a gun, or get drunk. Those are the news headlines at 7:39. Now let's go to Tony Perkins for the weather.
Okay, thank you very much, Claire. We're going to turn our attention to the tropics. Take a look at what's happening out there. We have a tropical depression. It is Tropical Depression Lee, located about 700 miles east of Bermuda. Lee was a tropical storm yesterday for about 6 hours, and that was it. There's also another tropical disturbance in the southern Atlantic. Not much happening there. We'll watch it. Across the nation today, drier conditions in the east and the southeast. Hot and humid. We'll see some scattered storms here and there. Also some rain and some storms in New Mexico and the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. We've already seen some storms this morning in Kansas, and quiet conditions out west. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning, everyone. We're starting off with some patchy clouds here in the Portland metro area this morning. However, this afternoon we should see lots of sunshine and temperatures in the low 80s. Tonight, clouds move in overnight. It will be a cloudy morning tomorrow morning and just partly sunny skies tomorrow afternoon, and some rain moves in late Saturday.
All right, there you go. This weather report has been brought to you by Jif Peanut Butter. It is now 40 minutes after the hour. Charlie and Robin, back to you.
Tony, when we come back, a theme of today's program, America Reaching Out. A look at how people around the country are helping victims. And so many of you have asked how you can help, and we'll be talking about that the rest of the morning. Stay with us.
Hey, Dad, what are you doing?
Making a little snack. Come on, plenty of room.
How come you fold yours over like that?
I don't know. I guess it's because that's the way my dad used to do it, and I always wanted to do everything just like him.
That's silly.
It's more than just that great peanut taste. Choosing Jif is a small, simple way of letting someone know you care. Choosing moms and dads, choose Jif.
And now, more of the 10 big reasons to shop Big Lots this week. Number 7, this food storage organizer system, just $7. And reason number 1, Turtle Wax automotive wipes, just $1 each. See all 10 amazing deals at Big Lots or BigLots.com. What's your deal today?
You know, I gotta tell you, since I've been hurt and missing work, you've been a big help to this family. No, really. The cash we get from Aflac helps us maintain the house, put food on the table. And my Jenny continues with her piano lessons. Yep, this family's doing just fine. And it's all thanks to
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Now on DVD, when he popped the question, his mother,
Oh my God,
popped.
I need something stronger than this.
Monster-in-Law. Own it now on DVD.
I am dedicated. And I'm a diabetic. And that's how I feel when I test with my meter, the Accu-Check Aviva.
Designed to fill correctly the first time, to make every strip count. The new Accu-Check Aviva system.
The Pier 1 bedroom sale. Get everything you need for your bedroom. Hurry in and save up to 50%. At Pier 1, life more interesting.
It's frustrating. Just when you're ready to relax, that's when it happens. The urge to move, along with uncomfortable sensations in your legs. They're hard to describe, but they can even keep you from getting to sleep. You feel the urgent need to get up and move, just to get some relief. There's a name for it, restless leg syndrome. And if you have it, you're among the nearly 1 in 10 U.S. adults who do. Want to know more? Visit restlesslegs.com or talk to your doctor.
For all the extra hours you dedicate to your students, we think you deserve some extra credit. TIAA-CREF. Serving the retirement needs of those in the academic, medical, cultural, and research fields. Visit us online to find out how we can serve you. TIAA-CREF, financial services for the greater good.
As Hurricane Katrina's fury devastates the Gulf Coast, Good Morning America is there, leading the way with unmatched reporting. Robin Roberts live with an emotional and deeply personal journey back home to her family and the place she knows best. And when the president was ready to sit down for his first interview on Katrina's destruction and aftermath, where did he come first? Diane Sawyer and Good Morning America, live at the White House. Now, as the country comes together to rebuild, count on Charles Gibson, Diane Sawyer, Robin Roberts, Tony Perkins, and Good Morning America to be there for you. And go to gma.abcnews.com to find out how you can help the survivors.
And as Charlie said, our theme for the rest of the morning, America reaching out in this time of crisis. We go to ABC's Barbara Pinto, who is in Houston, Texas, a city that's opened its arms to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. Good morning, Barbara.
Good morning, Robin. We've been watching the buses come in here all morning. I'm outside the Houston Astrodome, and over the next few days, more than 20,000 of the displaced and homeless will call this place home. And as the people pour in here, so does the help. So many have so little left.
We have no milk, no bread, no water. But ice. No ice.
As Houston prepares its Astrodome to house tens of thousands left homeless, around the nation, Americans are responding to the desperate need left in Katrina's wake. In Los Angeles, children emptied their piggy banks. And in San Francisco, volunteers filled 3 classrooms for a crash course on disaster relief.
The sooner you can travel, the better.
In Indiana, utility workers got a big send-off on their way to help restore power. Checks and cash donations are coming in from all over. In addition to major corporations that have donated millions, celebrities like Morgan Freeman and Serena Williams have pledged their support, as did so many deeply touched by such tragedy and loss.
I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans, and I love the city, and to see what's happening right there is right now is just kind of heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking for Clarence Santiago and 22 of his family members.
We didn't figure that the worst case scenario was going to happen, but it did.
All are now living in a Sunday school classroom at this Houston church turned shelter, where the donations of clothing, food, and water keep coming.
It made us feel so good because, you know, with the situation at home, we're just devastated. I just can't even think about it, you know.
To give you some idea of how long-term this could be, the schedule for the Astrodome has been cleared through December. And Charlie and Robin, many of the displaced children already here start school in Houston today.
Barbara Pinto, thanks very much. And all morning long, we'll be telling you how you can reach out. Stay with us.
Turn the table tonight. Great food, great life. Everything is gonna turn out right, and things taste better with a dollop of Daisy, a dollop of Daisy, yeah. Great food gets better with a dollop of Daisy, a dollop of Daisy, yeah. Everything tastes better.
Ready for school? Good thing Walmart's got everything you need for back to school at their always low prices. So you can get your kids off to the right start. Later.
If you have indoor or outdoor allergies, ask your doctor about something different. Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of allergy symptoms. And Singulair is now approved to help relieve both indoor and outdoor allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat indoor and outdoor allergies.
There are people everywhere who got dealt a bad hand.
There are moments we wish we could have back.
I want to know what killed my boy.
I killed a minor. Is that what you
you want to hear?
Memories we wish we could forget.
It's a police report. He was my boyfriend.
And people we never want to lose.
My son's dead.
Your granddaughter's not, and neither are you.
You know anything about pickup trucks?
Okay, that's good. You're getting the hang of it.
An Unfinished Life. Rated PG-13. Special sneak preview Saturday and Sunday.
Me and B.B. King have a lot in common. We both have diabetes. He doesn't like to wait for results. I don't like to wait.
All done within 5 seconds. You just can't beat that.
Ask for One Touch Ultra. One Touch changes everything.
On your mark. Get set.
Save.
Circuit City's Labor Day sale is here and the savings are high. Right now, select DVDs are just $4.99 each. Save on comedy, drama, action, and more. And look for big savings on big screens, too. Get 10% off plus pay no interest till 2007 on all TVs $2.99 and up. Come in today and save at Circuit City's Labor Day sale.
Spend a night out on the town and benefit Dornbecker Children's Hospital all at the same time.
Saturday, September 17th, join us for Hope on the Horizon, presented by Women for Children, a chapter of Friends of Dornbecker.
It's an evening of fine food, live music, and features our famous silent and oral auctions. And don't forget, Steve will be your master of ceremonies.
Hope on the Horizon, Saturday, September 17th. Proceeds from the event go to help Dornbecker Children's Hospital.
For more information, go to KETU.com. K2NU, the spirit of the Northwest.
So many of you have emailed us, how can I help? And in the next hour, we'll be talking to our financial contributor, Melody Hobson, about exactly that. But the basic question that occurs, number one, cash or goods? And number two, is it better to give now or wait to see how things shake out?
Well, this is very simple. Cash, not goods. There is no infrastructure to support moving things around. The only thing these relief organizations can take is money. That doesn't mean $20 in an envelope. That means writing a check, earmarking Katrina on the memo line of the check, or charging it to your credit card. In terms of now or later, now for sure. Because once this drops from the headlines, it'll be very, very hard for these organizations to raise money.
Okay, now and then maybe even more later.
Holiday time, when you're making your year-end tax contributions, keep the major charities in mind because they will still be working on Katrina.
Yeah, the need is not going to go away. All right, Melody Hobson, we'll be back with your emails asking Melody how you can help. And when we come back, Coast Guard rescues, we're going to show you many of those, talk to some of the great Coast Guardsmen, and also the gas lines. Will there be gas available? Stay with us.
Whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. I love you. For your chance to win tickets, go to Ameriquest.com. Ameriquest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American dream.
Come in, Mother Bird. Mom has pulled a surprise present from the closet.
It's a what? It's Disney Pixar's Toy Story 10th Anniversary 2-disc DVD with an all-new game, deleted scenes, and more. Own it on DVD Tuesday, September 6th. Mission accomplished.
Find fabulous fall savings this Labor Day weekend at Hancock Fabrics. Save 50% on fleece with 47 fashion colors and new stylish prints. Home decorator fabrics up to 50% off, and McCall's patterns only 99 cents each. The savings start Thursday at Hancock Fabrics.
Another new drink. Ingredients: inositol, maltodextrin, glucuronolactone, or Florida orange juice. Fresh air, rain, sunshine.
Florida orange juice. Healthy, pure, and simple. Introducing Almay Intense Eye Color. Shadow, liner, and mascara in expertly coordinated shades for your eye color. It's the color of your eyes intensified. Only from Almay.
No matter what you're into, there's only one way to go back to school. Get hooked up with Dell. This Dimension desktop with an Intel Celeron processor is only $299. Plus, get a free printer. Get more out of now. Dell PCs use Intel Celeron processors.
It's the last weekend of summer, but that's no reason for the summer breezes to end.
The Home Depot can help. Right now, get 20% off every ceiling fan in the store. Beautiful designs from the best brands like Hunter and Hampton Bay, America's #1 ceiling fan. And now through Labor Day, Get no payments and no interest for 12 months store-wide when you use your Home Depot or Expo Consumer Credit Card. Summer is slipping away. Make the most of it.
At the Home Depot, you can do it. We can help.
We don't make Lactaid milk till the cows come home. In fact, we can't. They make it delicious and nutritious. We just make it lactose-free. Lactaid. Real milk from real cows.
Sofas by Design. Have it your way. Comfortable, affordable, stylish. With every design and option to suit your needs and accessories to complete your home. Sofas by Design. 6 blocks north of the Selwood Bridge on Southeast 13.
It's Sleep Country's fantastic Beauty Rest closeout sale. Save on any size Beauty Rest. So if you don't mind sleeping on a discontinued fabric, this is your sale. Through Labor Day.
We don't make Lactaid milk till the cows come home. In fact, we can't. They make it delicious and nutritious. We just make it lactose-free. Lactaid. Real milk from real cows.
Morning America is brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help. New York accommodations provided by Millennium Broadway, a hotel for your next visit to Manhattan.
This is not the time for social advances made for the sake of social advances.
Meaning a woman in the Oval Office.
Meaning a woman as the leader of the free world.
The President of the United States.
Commander-in-Chief premieres Tuesday, September 27th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
I'm a carpet cleaning fanatic. With 2 kids, 2 dogs, a husband, and almost white carpet, I get my carpets cleaned about every 3 months. Stanley Steamer is by far the most professional company I've ever used. With other local cleaners, I didn't know who was coming, and I had to pay extra for things like moving the furniture. Now for me, it's Stanley Steamer in that yellow van every time.
Call today about our $99 special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets carpet cleaner.
Bringing Northwest color into your home is as easy as opening a can of Miller Paint. Miller Paint was born in the Northwest and comes in a wide range of colors uniquely inspired by the Northwest landscape. Easier yet, when you visit your Miller Paint store, you get friendly, expert advice that leads to picture-perfect results every time. If you can picture it, you can paint it. Miller Paint, our paint.
We could live in the city and see a show every day. We could live at the beach and build our very own castle.
Discover the possibilities of today's Ethan Allen.
Or maybe a neighborhood where I listen to the birds sing.
Introducing the new Casuals. Fresh, modern, irresistibly priced. It's Ethan Allen redefined.
Or we could live in the country and grow our family tree.
In stores now.
Why'd you wake me?
No Angel Soft.
I know, it's made just right. An extra layer to get the job done. All finished.
Not yet. Dad left the seat up, too.
Angel Soft. Comfort where you want it.
Who doesn't leave the seat up?
You really don't know squat.
K2 News, voted Oregon's best investigative journalism. Good morning. This is K2 News, the spirit of the Northwest.
Good morning, everyone. It's 7:58, and I'm Julia Radlick. Here's what's making local news. The devastation continues to mount in the Gulf from the Hurricane Katrina, and now medical help is on the way from here in the Northwest. The Oregon Disaster Medical Team has joined the effort to help victims of Hurricane Katrina. They hit the road for the Louisiana area yesterday in 3 big rigs carrying valuable emergency supplies.
All of the supplies and equipment that we need for a self-contained medical response unit. That includes everything from a sink and showers to MREs, meals ready to eat, to cots, to tents, to a water system, fuel, generators, everything, as well as all the medical supplies that we need.
The Oregon Disaster Medical Team plans to be in the devastated area for 2 weeks. Time now to check on your morning commute. Here's Brian McCoy. Hi, Brian.
Oh, good morning. So far out of Vancouver and I-5 southbound. Some slowing starting right at SR 14, and that heads towards the bridge. Most of the slowing continues on the Oregon side, Jansen Beach, Delta Park, and then Portland to Skidmore. On the Banfield, slow traffic getting inbound from Gateway down past 33rd, and I-5 northbound, slowing down from 205 towards Lake Oswego, and again, just prior to the Capitol Highway, right up through the Terwilliger curves. For Town and Country Auto Dealerships and the K2 Traffic Team, Brian McCoy, K2 News.
Thanks so much, Brian. Your forecast for the afternoon is looking really nice. As a matter of fact, we're going to hit temperatures in the low 80s. Right now, it's 58 degrees in Portland, 55 in Aurora, 52 in Salem, and 55 in Vancouver. We have a little bit of low clouds and fog along the coast and kind of here in the Portland metro area. There is a cloud mass out to our west, and that is going to bring rain for the weekend. But for today, beautiful. 82 degrees this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. The marine layer will move in overnight. We'll start off with cloudy skies tomorrow morning with some sunshine in the afternoon, then increasing clouds on Saturday, and we end up with some rain overnight Saturday and into Sunday.
The rescues, each one riveting to watch as people are hoisted off the rooftops and winched up into Coast Guard and National Guard helicopters. Each one dramatic, and then you realize the Coast Guard alone has rescued more than 2,000 people, and the National Guard many more as well. It is a scene being played out over and over and over again, nighttime, daytime, the signs on the roofs saying, "Help me."
Come and get me.
Good morning, America. Good to have you with us.
It is Thursday, September 1st, 2005. You see Diane there. She's still in Washington. Just early this morning, she spoke live, one-on-one with President Bush this morning. It was something to see and hear. Diane.
That's right, Robin. And of course, among the things he said to me was very emotionally how much he cares about the people down in the Gulf states. But he also said that there will be zero tolerance for any looting taking place down there, and that he's standing by with any number of forces that might be requested by governors should it be needed to keep security. And I'll play you a little bit more from the interview in a minute.
All right, Diane, just to run down the latest developments from the region, an all-out evacuation of New Orleans is in full swing. The city, essentially, when it's over, will be empty. Busloads of people have begun arriving 350 miles away at the Houston Astrodome. And the mayor of New Orleans estimates that as many as 15,000 per day will be taken out by convoy. He also says the death toll in the city of New Orleans, hundreds, maybe even thousands. The city struggling with an all-out problem of controlling the crime wave that Diane mentioned, dozens of carjackings, roving packs of looters, growing increasingly hostile. So we'll get to that story.
And we can't forget about the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Bay St. Louis, Long Beach, Pass Christian, Gulfport, Biloxi, up and down the coast. We're going to talk about Mississippi in just a little bit. We're getting new pictures of the catastrophe as it unfolded. This is home video. A man trapped in his house in New Orleans captured these images as the floodwaters swamped his home. So many compelling images and stories coming from those in Katrina's path. If you have video or photos, especially if you have photos of loved ones that you're looking for, go to our website, share them with us at gma.abcnews.com.
And we've gotten a lot of emails from people as well saying, what can we do to help? So all morning long showing you how America is reaching out, and our financial contributor Melody Hobson will be with us in this hour to answer some of your emails in the best ways for you to help.
And among those giving their all, the heroes, you've been seeing them, they're up in the air, the Coast Guard. Their crews have been just tirelessly rescuing people from rooftops. It seems the work is never done, and we're going to talk to some of them in just a little bit. Oh, those images. But we begin with Diane, who's still in our nation's capital. Diane.
Right, Robin. I want to tell you one more thing the president said to me as we continued the conversation after the interview. I said to him, you know, there was an evacuation order. A lot of these people stayed, and I just was curious. I said, do you blame the people for staying there? And he said, now is not the time to blame anyone. And he said, particularly when you look at the number of elderly people who didn't want to leave their home, he said, how can you ever say to a person like that you in any way hold them responsible or blame them for not wanting to leave their home? Even though, as we know, it did result in a huge number of people who remain there need to be rescued, and of course the refugees themselves, which could pose one of the greatest challenges of his presidency. The prospect, some people are saying, is of 1 million American refugees in place for a very long time. It's really a two-part question, which is, what are you saying to them about how far the federal government's going to go to get their lives back? Do you promise jobs? Do you promise that they will be moved back into housing, and how soon?
Well, first of all, we got to get a handle on the situation. In other words, we got to stop the flooding in New Orleans. We got to, rescue the folks, and get them out of harm's way, get food and medicine to people, and then take a serious assessment about what it's going to need to rebuild New Orleans and parts of Mississippi.
But given the fact that everyone anticipated a Hurricane 5, a possible Hurricane 5 hitting shore, are you satisfied with the pace at which this is arriving and at which it was planned to arrive?
Well, I fully understand people wanting things to have happened yesterday. I mean, I understand the anxiety of people on the ground. I just can't imagine what it's like to be waving a sign that said, "Come and get me now." So there is frustration. But I want people to know there's a lot of help coming. I don't think anybody anticipated the breach of the levees. They did anticipate a serious storm. But these levees got breached, and as a result, much of New Orleans is flooded, and now we're having to deal with it, and will.
And can America afford this cost? Because a number of people, again, are saying right now we are straining at the seams a bit. We are paying the war in Iraq and the cost of that in the tens and tens of millions of dollars a day. And do we have to make a choice at some point between what we're doing in Iraq and what is needed right now to funnel massive amounts of money?
We can win the war on terror, and we must win the war on terror. Security of this nation is at stake, and we'll help the people of New Orleans and Mississippi and Alabama as well.
And again, Charlie and Robin, as I mentioned earlier during our conversation after the interview, he said, and we will do it without tax increases. So back to you.
All right, Diane, and I'm glad that she asked him about, did he blame people for not getting out? Many people could not get out. They didn't have the financial means to evacuate. They didn't have a car. They didn't have money to rent a car. And some, like in the case of my mother, health concerns, she physically was not able to get in a car and leave and drive for that amount of time to get out of harm's way.
We're going to go next to ABC's Bill Weir, Good Morning America weekend anchor, who got into New Orleans by boat yesterday and on the way made a rather amazing discovery. Bill?
That's right, Charlie. As Robin was saying, so many people left or did not leave for so many different reasons. We found one who provided a rare glimpse of stoic humor amid all this despair. You know, the license plates in Louisiana read Sportsman's Paradise, so the call went out. If you have a flat-bottom boat, we need you. And the call was answered, and hundreds were saved yesterday, and they showed us this glimpse of humor amid all this despair.
With Katrina's howl long silent, the watery streets of this town now echo with the sound of outboard motors. Bass fishing and duck hunting boats, hundreds of them, towed from the bayous to the streets by all variety of southern sportsmen, all anxious to help hunt for survivors.
So have people offered to pay you guys anything for your efforts? Or is this all volunteer work?
All volunteer work. It is hard to fathom sane people choosing to stay and live in this.
They said, well, maybe we have enough food for another 3 days. We're like, you think we're going to come back here and do all this 3 days from now?
So to prove it, they floated me up Robert E. Lee Boulevard to a genteel neighborhood near City Park, where I finally found what Katrina couldn't kill.
What's your name?
My name's Penny Weeks, and this is Bruce Gobert.
Hey, Bruce.
Southern hospitality and stoic charm lives amid the brackish waters of their living room.
It was underwater, and it worked.
It is obvious their spirits are already up.
Oh, I'm so glad we cleaned the kitchen this morning, honey.
You did the dishes, I see.
This home belongs to the Gilbert family patriarch, a former king of Mardi Gras. And while his furniture floats downstairs, he holds court upstairs for family, friends, and neighbors, all supporting his decision to stay, come hell and high water.
Don't you think you'd be more comfortable somewhere else?
I feel safe and I feel comfortable. More so than... I'm not going to be corralled.
You guys are going to survive, but will the city?
Oh, hell yes. Oh, come on, man. Oh, ye of little faith.
So what is it about this place that gives you this sort of steel spine?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to define. It's a feeling. You know, this is my home. This is where my roots are. My family is. It's not something you easily turn your back on.
I I have to tell you, Charlie and Robin, I went in there expecting people just delusional, and I came away really invigorated by their resolve in there. Some will say maybe they are delusional, but it's that kind of unbelievable pluck. They're acting as if this is a clogged sink, and it is just a piffle, and it will soon go away, and that is what it's going to take if this old city is going to rebuild once again.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, Bill Weir, thanks ever so much. And
There is just something about the South.
Bless
There's
those
something
folks.
about the South.
Absolutely. Let's go to Claire Shipman for the headlines.
All right, well, despite those good spirits, everybody, as we've been talking about, Mississippi has been devastated by the hurricane's 100-mile path of destruction. Right now, more than 100 deaths are being blamed on Katrina. And Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour told us rescuers are making progress and they're still not giving up hope.
We've rescued a lot of people. We've found a lot of survivors in the thousands. We believe there will be more. We also believe that there will be more fatalities. The devastation is so total that there's debris knee-deep, waist-deep, head-deep for miles and miles and miles.
And late word from the White House that the president will travel to the region tomorrow to see the devastation firsthand. And a verdict this morning in the so-called milkshake murder case. A jury in Hong Kong found an American housewife guilty of killing her wealthy husband. Prosecutors say Nancy Kissel gave her husband Robert a milkshake laced with sedatives and then beat him to death. And help is on the way for the upcoming flu season. The government has approved a new vaccine called Fluarix for patients over 18. It's made in Germany by GlaxoSmithKline and has been available overseas for years. 8 million doses will be imported. And it seems there is strikingly little difference between humans and chimps. Scientists who've studied chimps' DNA say we're more than 96% identical, but they say those differences are critical and could tell us why humans get diseases like AIDS and Alzheimer's and chimps don't. That's the news at 10 after 8 now. Let's check with Tony for the weather again.
All right, Claire, thank you very much. I have got something to show you. It is the satellite radar picture for the United States. What a difference a few days makes. Look at this. There is virtually nothing to show you on this map this morning. In Kansas, right in the middle of the state, you're seeing some storms. We see some precipitation across the south. That is broken up a little bit, but we'll see that sporadic activity during the course of the day. But this map has been one of the busiest things I've ever seen during the last few days. Now, some highlights for today. Atlantic City above normal at 87 degrees. Houston, 95. It'll feel more like 100 degrees. Phoenix, 108. But even at 108, you're not under a heat advisory today. You were earlier in the week. Pocatello will top out at 82 degrees. Those are the areas where we'll see some rain in some portions of the southwest and in the southeast. That's a look at what's happening with the weather around the nation. Now, here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julia Radlick. We're starting off with a little bit of patchy clouds here in the valley and along the coast. The biggest thing, though, is this cloud mass out here in the Pacific. Yes, it will bring us rain for the weekend. In the meantime, it's increasing the onshore flow and cooling us off for tomorrow. But today should be beautiful. We're looking at 82 degrees this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. Tonight, the clouds will move in overnight. We will see cloudy skies tomorrow morning and only 76 degrees tomorrow afternoon. A similar number on Saturday, and then the rain begins Saturday night and into Sunday.
And there you go. It is now 12 minutes after the hour. Charlie, back to you.
Tony, we're going to focus next on the Coast Guard because the Coast Guard has been doing such an extraordinary job rescuing more than 2,000 victims so far from the floodwaters of Katrina. Helicopter pilots, 3 straight days now. They've been working, scooping up so many folks from rooftops. Many have been taken to Baton Rouge, and that's where we find ABC's Nancy Weiner this morning. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning to you, Charlie. And once they arrive here, many people have nowhere to stay. As you can tell just by looking at any hotel lobby here in the city, people are sleeping everywhere. The Coast Guard crew we spent the day with is from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. They have a grueling job, and it is nowhere near done. The crew's first mission, saving an extended family, children, mother, and grandmother, hoisted up one by one. The children are frightened. The crew does what it can to comfort them, then drops the family off alongside a freeway outside New Orleans, where emergency crews are waiting for them. The crew heads back to the submerged city for mission number 2, rescuing a woman who needs oxygen and an elderly woman with one leg.
They have no power, anything. They're sitting there, no food, they can't get out. There's probably 8 feet of water, outside.
Sometimes choosing who gets saved is not as simple as who needs help the most.
If somebody's in a little bit more challenging area, they're going to come as second tier.
Divers dressed in red tell the victims left behind to spread the word. They will return to that exact location, creating a kind of bus stop, a safe and easy pickup location.
I didn't think there would be that many people waving at us as we went by, but there's hundreds of people that need help, and we can only hoist so many.
Mission number 3, possibly the most urgent of all. A pregnant woman and an elderly man are both in need of hospitalization. They're airlifted from the Superdome and taken to Baton Rouge Hospital.
Everybody should pray. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on down there, and it seems like it's going to be a long time, a lot of work, and a couple miracles are going to have to happen.
You can really see the relief in people's faces when they notice that chopper coming. Conversely, the panic in some faces when they realize the chopper is passing them by this time. It's a slow and painstaking process, Charlie.
Thanks, Nancy. Joining us right now from Mobile, Alabama, Coast Guard Lieutenant Commander Nevada Smith and Petty Officer Josh Mitchelltree, Coast Guard rescue swimmer. Appreciate you both being with us. And when the President was talking to Diane a few moments ago, Josh, he said he called you up to thank you. It must be a bit of a shock getting a call from the President.
It is definitely a good wake-up call.
What did he say?
It was definitely a great conversation. He was just calling to give us encouragement. Just wanted to tell everybody that he thought we were doing a great job. Wanted to know a little bit of the information we did about some of the rescues, and he wanted a good hands-on view of what the city looked like.
Well, I know it's good to have a lot of your crew standing behind us. And Commander Smith, Nancy Weiner just made mention of the fact that you can see disappointment on people's faces when you have to pass them by. I suspect there's a sort of triage as you approach all of this.
Yes, we're trying to keep everybody safe. Hoisting people up in a helicopter isn't a very safe evolution, so we're just trying to keep everything as safe as possible and get everybody to a safer, more stable location.
But you have to take those people who are in the most dire of need first.
Yes, we lowered down our 2 rescue swimmers, and yesterday at an apartment building, and they were able to prioritize who needed to go first, and that worked out really well for us. We got 62 people yesterday.
Having been flying over the city now for some time, do you have a sense of how long this is going to take? How many people there are still to be rescued?
There just must be hundreds. We found a little area about a 1 mile south of the Superdome, and we hit that neighborhood, and we only went to 2 houses, and of those 2 houses, we got 62 people out of there. And and that's just, that's just 2 buildings. I got 62.
And I would
so we're going to have to...
I would suspect as you arrive and begin to hoist people up, more people come. Seeing you there, they get over to the house where you're rescuing people.
The best advertisement for this is where to get help is the sound of the helicopter. There'd be 50 people there, we hoist 10, and there'd be 60 there because 20 people showed up while we got those 10.
Now, as Commander Smith is piloting the chopper, I suspect he can't hear much of what those who are rescued have to say, but Josh, I suspect they can talk to you, and I'm curious what they say to you.
There's a lot of appreciation, a lot of thanks. Able to talk to some of the people down on the ground who aren't ready to be rescued yet because they know there's more people in danger. I ran into a 14-year-old boy who he just needed, he was telling me he was pulling all the women and children from the different houses and bringing them wherever he saw helicopters, and it was pretty amazing to see somebody 14 doing that. So.
And are they scared at all when you get to them, Josh?
A lot of them are screaming, lots of tears. We have plenty of rags. We pass out. People are wiping away tears. They're pretty terrified. It's quite a ride on the way up to in a helicopter.
Well, you guys are doing a great job, and as a former Coast Guardsman myself, I couldn't be more proud of the service, and I welcome both of you, and I wish you all the luck. You got a lot of work to do in coming days. You take care. Thanks very much. We'll be back.
Non piangete per me, ragazzi.
Mamma.
Ho avuto una vita lunga e felice. Ho avuto tutto ciò che desideravo. E ho fatto tutte le esperienze possibili. Ho fatto...
Mamma. equals what? Josh?
Wouldn't it be nice if there was an easy button for school? Now there's one for school supplies. It's called Staples, where you'll find a great selection, including a TI-83 graphing calculator for $74.94. Staples, that was easy.
I have asthma, and even when I thought I had it under control, it constricted my life. I avoided doing some things because I knew they could trigger my symptoms. When my asthma symptoms flare up, I never know how bad it's going to be. A little wheezing or something more. That's not the way I wanted to live. So I talked to my doctor about getting more symptom-free days with Advair. Advair is the one asthma controller that treats the two main components that cause my asthma symptoms, airway constriction and inflammation. So I can have more days without symptoms, and that means more days without worry.
Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Rare but serious asthma-related fatalities occurred in a study with Ceravin, one of the components of Advair. While adjusting to a switch from an oral steroid like prednisone to the inhaled steroid in Advair, be very careful as you may be less able to heal after surgery, infection, or serious injury. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve.
Ask your doctor about Advair. Enjoy more symptom-free days.
12 brand new cars for you, your family, and friends. $0.
Here's a car.
Awesome oatmeal. How it feels to hand them the keys. Priceless. Use your MasterCard and you could win 12 new cars in our Win 12 Cars sweepstakes.
Afraid to show your face? Not me. Don't let dry, red, or even irritated skin get in your way.
Introducing Aveeno Ultra Calming Daily Moisturizer. Only Aveeno found a breakthrough way to release the calming properties of feverfew, a natural ingredient that's clinically proven to visibly reduce redness in as little as 1 week.
When you've got healthy, beautiful skin, you're not afraid to show it.
New Ultra Calming Daily Moisturizer. Only from Aveeno. Dermatologist recommended for 60 years.
Top critics are calling The Constant Gardener sizzling.
There's an epidemic coming.
Hair-raising.
Pharmaceuticals right up there with the arms dealers.
Exhilarating. Edge-of-your-seat thriller.
Get down!
The Constant Gardener. Rated R. Now playing.
LensCrafters gives you an unconditional happiness guarantee. 30 days to wear your new glasses. Decide if you love them or exchange them till you do. Or your money back. LensCrafters. You'll see. We're better. And get $100 off any glasses.
Gasoline is so scarce along the Gulf coast. You just see the gas lines extremely long for miles. We even saw people in line pushing their cars because they were already out of gas.
So we'll get to that story and then your emails to Melody Hobson. People saying, I have time but no money. How do I help? What are the best charities to give to? We'll cover all that.
I'm Stanley Johnson. I've got a great family. I've got a 4-bedroom house and a great community. Like my car? It's new. I even belong to the local golf club. How do I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I can barely pay my finance charges. Somebody help me.
Need to consolidate your debt? Refinance now at LendingTree. Get up to 4 real offers in minutes and lower your monthly payment. Refinance at LendingTree.com.
Kenny Munich needs to rise and shine. Good thing he has his Folgers, because when he rises, so do 800 muffins.
Morning, Jack. Morning.
Hey, how's it
going? Completing chores effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Looking great effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Entertaining friends and family effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Rolling back into work effortlessly after the long weekend's over. Also on sale. Labor Day has never been easier. The Labor Day sale at Sears. Through Tuesday. Sears.
Inside all of us is a body in motion, just waiting to move. Propel Fitness Water from Gatorade, made for bodies in motion.
This holiday weekend,
Join the march to the hottest movie of the summer. March of the Penguins, rated G, now in theaters.
No matter what you're into, there's only one way to go back to school. Get hooked up with Dell. This Dimension desktop with an Intel Celeron processor is only $299. Plus, get a free printer. Get more out of now. Dell PCs use Intel Celeron processors.
Tonight, will you be able to catch a great night's sleep? Or will your restless mind keep chasing sleep away?
I've got to remember that appointment tomorrow. Did I send the car payment?
Introducing Lunesta, a sleep aid that can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. All sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
Good morning. This is K2 News, the spirit of the Northwest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julia Radlick. Here's what's making local news this morning. A rally in Northeast Portland calls attention to the dangers of traffic crossings for young school kids.
2, 3, 4! Bus stops, we need more!
Several Jefferson cluster schools were closed this spring, forcing some students to cross 4 lanes of busy traffic every day to get to their new school. The school board committed to a new bus stop after a similar rally earlier this month, but they haven't said when it's going in. The parents want it before the start of school next week. The fight over a proposed Walmart in Gresham isn't over yet. The retail giant has now appealed the city's decision to deny Walmart an application to build a new store near Southeast 182nd and Powell. City officials say they rejected Walmart because of traffic issues. A hearings officer will rule on the application, and if the permit is rejected again, Walmart can take its case to the Oregon Land Use Board of Appeals. The strike is over for hundreds of workers at Legacy Emmanuel Hospital. They were participating in a one-day walkout in response to ongoing contract negotiations. All hospital employees, except doctors and nurses, have been without a contract since the end of July. Workers want higher wages and better benefits, but the hospital says it can't afford it.
Hopefully we can send a message, against urgent respect, hopefully when we meet again to bargain, hopefully they'll step up and bargain in good faith and get this issue resolved so we can all, come back to work.
We've got a great group of employees, and again, we fully welcome them back tomorrow morning.
Hospital officials say patients were not affected. They brought in trained replacement workers. Your forecast for the afternoon is looking pretty nice. As a matter of fact, we should see a lot of sunshine later today, and we're already seeing a good amount of sunshine this morning. Let's take a look outside from the Hood River Inn in the Columbia River Gorge. Beautiful, lots of sun, plenty of blue sky. Another look this time for the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha, where they are seeing lots of sunshine as well. Nice long shadows there on the grass as the sun rises this morning. A few patchy clouds are possible here in Portland this morning, especially higher up in the atmosphere as a storm system is offshore waiting to come inland. You can see it here on the satellite picture as the gray clouds out there on the ocean. That is some rain heading our direction for the weekend, but for today it should be very nice. We are looking at a heat low that is shifting east, and we're starting to see more of the marine influence. So it will be warm one more day today here in the valley, 82 degrees for a high this afternoon. Tonight we will expect the clouds overnight, and tomorrow morning we will start off cloudy, and it will be much cooler tomorrow at 76 degrees, and the rain moves in late Saturday night and into Sunday. We'll have more news at midday. That's at 11 a.m. We hope to see you then.
Are you having problems with your hearing? May I recommend that you call your local Starkey Hearing Center. They're fully accredited. That means that they've met national certification and licensing standards set by the government. They're staffed by experts. Your hearing will be professionally evaluated, and if hearing aids are needed, they have a wide selection, including digitals like mine. So here's their offer. Call today or tomorrow. Get a complete hearing checkup. There is absolutely no obligation.
This is K2, the spirit of the Northwest. If you're in one of these locations, you may be able to receive a clearer signal by tuning to one of these UHF channels.
This Labor Day, for 4 days only, Northwest Rugs will place their entire collection of 20,000 rugs plus all furniture and accessories on sale. 20,000 rugs from over 15 different countries and the most famous looms in the world. Price reduced for 4 days only. Thousands of colors, styles, and patterns from tapestries and masterful reproductions for the hottest colors and styles of the day. Hurry in for Labor Day savings on our entire inventory of rugs, furniture, and accessories. Northwest Rugs, Carmen Drive, Wilsonville, Tannisbourne, and Jensen Beach.
It's Sleep Country's fantastic Beauty Rest closeout sale. Save on any size Beauty Rest. So if you don't mind sleeping on a discontinued fabric, this is your sale. Through Labor Day.
A portion of this program is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Life comes at you fast. When it does, be ready with Nationwide. Investments, retirement, insurance. Nationwide is on your side.
Sunday, October 2nd, join us for the 2005 Portland Memory Walk and take steps to end Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's disease affects thousands of Oregonians and their families, and right now there's no cure in sight. The 2005 Alzheimer's Association Memory Walk is the largest single fundraiser to fight Alzheimer's disease and gives assistance to local individuals, families, caregivers, and medical providers. So join us Sunday, October 2nd for the 2005 Portland Memory Walk. For more information, go to KATU.com. KTUNU, the spirit of the Northwest. Oscar winner Morgan Freeman today at 9 on AM Northwest.
Some pictures that we received just in the last 15 minutes outside the Superdome. You can see people lined up. It looks almost like a refugee camp as people are there waiting to be evacuated by bus going off to Houston. We've received some information this morning that the evacuation for now has been suspended. We're told because there have been shots fired in the region at military choppers that are circling the area. So for now, we're told the evacuation on hold, but those folks will eventually be put on buses, taken 9 hours, 350 miles to Houston, where they will live in the Astrodome for we don't know how long. But as Nancy Weiner reported from there earlier in the day, the situation in the Astrodome, all activities in the Astrodome suspended through December of this year. So it's going to be quite some time. Good morning, America. Charles Gibson here.
And some of those kids from New Orleans scheduled to start school there in Houston today. It is amazing. I'm Robin Roberts. Diane Sawyer is in Washington, where she spoke earlier this morning with President Bush. Good morning again, Diane.
That's right, Robin. Good morning again to you and Charlie. And as I mentioned earlier, the president, after the interview, continued talking, and he said to me, when I asked him, is he prepared, if necessary, to go to martial law if there was real unrest in New Orleans, he said that they're monitoring the situation. Of course, they'll respond to anything the governor requests down there. So this is a really startling new development about those helicopters. We'll tell you more about all of this throughout the hour, and we have a look coming up just a second or two about gas prices, which are starting to escalate even more, and that's ahead.
All right, Diane, but we want to let everybody know about the latest right now. As we said, the total evacuation of New Orleans is on hold right now because of those gunshots, and hopefully we'll get more information, but there have been busloads of people arriving 350 miles away at the Astrodome in Houston. As many as 15,000 per day could get out by convoy. The death toll could be in the thousands. Simply do not know right now. The city grappling with an escalating crime wave, dozens of carjacking, roving packs of looters growing very hostile. There are now nearly 30,000 troops in the disaster zone.
And this is very much now a national crisis, and people around the country responding. In a moment, we're going to talk to Green Bay's quarterback, Brett Favre. We hope to, at least. We've got dicey communications there, but we're going to try to talk to him from Mississippi because almost his entire family rode out the storm there, including his wife, children, and 90-year-old grandmother. So hopefully we'll have a chance to talk with him.
Yeah, they're a hearty stock down there in Kell, Mississippi. We have heard from so many of you asking, how can we help? How can we, what can we do? It's so heartwarming to know that you want to do something. And all morning, we've been showing you how America is reaching out, and you are. This half hour, our financial contributor, Melody Hobson, you see, she's there by her computer. She's answering your emails, and she's going to tell you the best way to help. But now let's go back to D.C. and Diane.
All right, Robin, as I said, eyes popping at the gas pump because of the escalating prices in these days after Katrina. In fact, around here, it's an unscientific survey. We think prices have gone up in Washington, D.C. about 20 cents in the last 24 hours, and they're well above $3, which could put them right in with the rest of the country, although some parts of the country show prices even higher than that. For instance, the drop in supply in Atlanta has been grave and resulted in higher prices and really long and frustrating lines. In fact, lines that we haven't seen the lengths of which since the 1970s. ABC's Steve Osunsami has more now from Mobile, Alabama.
Everyone is running out of gas. At a number of service stations along the Gulf Coast, the lines are a mile long. Already they're fighting at the pump.
You have to get around. I mean, you don't have any choice. Ridiculous, horrible.
This is terrible, terrible. In Atlanta, there is panic at the pump. Rumors the city might run out of gas have jacked up prices for premium to a record $6.07 a gallon. Georgia's governor has urged everyone to give their cars a rest.
Any of those discretionary trips or driving that can be delayed, please do that until we're over this temporary threat.
And it's not just the South. Across the country, the price for a gallon of unleaded has skyrocketed. Overnight, fuel prices have jumped more than 50 cents in Ohio, 30 cents in Maine, 25 cents in Seattle. And the reason? Hurricane Katrina helped shut down two of the nation's biggest pipelines that carry more than 2.7 million barrels of petroleum products to markets each day. One of those pipelines, the Colonial, runs 5,500 miles from the Gulf to the East Coast. A quarter of the nation depends on the pipeline for fuel.
This is a very complicated jigsaw puzzle we've got to put back together, and it's going to take some time.
Motorists are already getting impatient.
We're going to have thousands and thousands of cars that nobody can afford to drive.
And relief seems so far away. For Good Morning America, I'm Steve Osunsami in Mobile, Alabama.
And I just want to point out that earlier today, the president said that price gouging is in his list of zero tolerance acts in these days. Robin?
Good to hear that. $6 there in Atlanta, Georgia. We have been very focused, of course, on the situation in New Orleans this morning, but now we're going to check in on the Mississippi and Alabama Gulf Coast. Equally dire situations down there along the coast. And ABC's David Curley is in Biloxi. Wish I was there with you, David.
I know, Robin, you've seen what it looks like here. We are on the Biloxi coast. The Gulf is just across the street here. Houses here just wiped off their foundations, but here's one behind me that actually survived, although you can see the middle of the house is missing. As the president told Diane just a little bit earlier, tons and tons of supplies are now on their way here to the Gulf Coast, ships and trucks, all coming this way. And it's starting to arrive for those here who are really the most in need.
With the sun going down 48 hours after Katrina passed, the line was growing. These people had not seen ice or much water since the hurricane. One of those in line, Lisa Duckworth, came home from Iraq a year ago. She says Biloxi and Baghdad don't compare.
This is worse than Iraq. I mean, I was in Baghdad. This is worse. I had never seen anything like this.
Finally, as darkness fell, two trucks arrived.
We're going to let you come around and get in line and get ice and water, okay?
Bedmart is the only place in the Northwest you can get the original Tempur-Pedic mattress as low as $6.99. It's nowhere else at this price. It's only at Bedmart.
Lift yourself.